I thought comedians were supposed to be funny and they're not supposed to tell you something that like hits you right in the gut. Like, hey, Nathan, being a content creator sure is lonely. It really is. I'm Nathan, musician. Spent 13 years in the funeral profession. And yes, these last 2 years have been very lonely, but oh, so worth it. I'm glad you're here. Be sure to subscribe, click the bell to be notified when I release content just like this. Starting something new, every new subscriber, clicking the bell right now. Also subscribing, I'm going to send one lucky guy or gal limited edition vinyl. Content creation is very lonely. Let me explain. It looks fun. And you hear little kids saying, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a content creator. I want to be an influencer. Because when you get there, wow, you better hold tight. See, my journey here was not anything that I really planned for. I mean, I've done videos back when I first started this channel, I was such a little child, or even other socials. I had a few followers here and there, but it was this moment that can never be recreated by myself. This most authentic moment in virality that changed it all for me. And I was not ready. I guess I was ready, but I wasn't. I mean, are you ever really ready? What I mean is 2 years ago, a video was posted online and on a social channel, and it has almost 8 million views on this particular channel. And then what does that do? That ignites all the wildfires across all the social media platforms. And then you make this decision, hey, I'm going to be intentional and I'm going to create content. I'm going to create content that I believe in, that's authentic and that's educational and encouraging and inspiring. And then you find your thing. What's your thing? Well, I mean, if you jumped on board, that's the thing that you stick with. And the musician and the mortician, that's who I am. I'm inspired by my works as a funeral professional. My songs have been a billboard. I'm an independent artist. I'm a dad. I'm a creator. I've always been this guy that wants to create. And if I'm not creating, I don't feel as if I'm really living, because I want to connect with you. I really do. But it comes at, like everything else, a cost, a pretty penny. The video that went viral, I had that moment where I realized, okay, this is something I'm going to create. And it was and has been super fun. But it's been fun with rocks and with consequences, because you have a bucket in life and there's this bucket that you are constantly trying to refill, because it's almost as if it has holes in the bottom. Not to be glass half empty kind of guy, but you always are having to refill, replenish, because things in life, they get heavy and they get hairy. And if you're with me, let me know in the comments below. Yeah, I get you. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell, because you could also, when you hear a limited vinyl, I realized for the longest time I was filling everyone else's buckets. So I began to fill my own buckets and releasing content, and then realizing that this thing that we have has become something interesting and exciting. I mean, how many musician morticians do you know? Count? Oh, it's been really fun, but it's come at a cost. I sold my company last year and I've been full speed ahead on the creative side of things, on the music side of things, on the marketing side of things. I would make videos out in public and people come up to you in public and they say, hey, I know you from somewhere. And that's fun and all, but boy, oh boy, this is where it gets a little bit lonely. All that creating that you do, like in this beat laboratory, this is just a part of the studio here. After the creation, then you edit it and then you put it out there. And then it's crickets. Now what? You're on to the next video. Maybe you comment a little bit. And most of the comments are very encouraging and entertaining and thought-provoking. But then there are some, they're like, up with his head. People like to sit in their mother's basement. You're happy. I'm mad that you're happy. I have this thing on inclusivity and kindness. And if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, is what I was taught as a kid. Stay out of the comments is what I've learned now. Because in this world of content creator, it can be a little bit lonely. And what about at the beginning of the video when I said, I thought comedians are supposed to be funny? My friend Chris, he's the guy that you've probably seen in your feed. He's the guy that has people submit to him Facebook Marketplace horror stories and he reenacts them with wigs. He's way more than that. He's a comedian. He's a friend. He's a family man. He's a husband. He's a father. I mean, he's a groundling. The dude is hilarious with improv and all of his travels, and he's inspiring. but he's also eye-opening because he showed up and he said, you know what? It's actually kind of lonely. And then I was like, it is. It took a long time to realize and acknowledge the fact that it can be a little bit lonely. And all you have is yourself at times. And content creators, you'd be amazed. I'll go live on a social platform and people will ask the most intrusive questions. Like, hey, what? I don't even want to go. I mean, if you can think it, people just feel they have total access to you, and you have to act as if you don't see the question sometimes, and sometimes it gets to the point where it kind of bubbles up and you have to say, okay, buddy, we're going to pass that one on. We're not going to acknowledge that. I don't think there's any ill intention per se, but there's this sense of they have full access. They can ask anything, say anything, they can do whatever they want to a degree, of course. You have to take it, listen, respond, or else. Being a content creator is very lonely. It's also interesting because when you're like filling out an application of sorts for something, I don't know, let's say you're at your 9-year-old's baseball evaluations, and I think content creators, if you've stumbled upon this video, I think you should own the fact and be proud of yourself for creating, for sitting in the driver's seat and sticking through all of this lonely time and all of those noisy comments. Stay out of the comments. That is the truth. Is that people that you love to watch, maybe even people that you love to hate, those content creators, they're people. They work very hard and fight through noise and loneliness and heaviness to get the content that they believe in out to you. And it does come at a cost. Because sure, we're constantly taking in and just the content, but we still look at content creators or the idea of that as a job description as it's somebody just playing around on the internet. Trust me, I know. I've gone from, well, you work at a funeral home, that is an admirable thing, and now you've chosen to go and play on your phone, which I also would get that too when I would work at the funeral. It would take me 10 minutes to batch create and film a week's worth of content. But now being full-time, you put it out there, now what? You put it out there, now what? Maybe go to your favorite content creators, let them know in the comments. And if it so happens that I'm on that list, let me know in the comments below something that you love. I'm not asking you to fill my love tank per se, but just go to the content creator, the people that you go to frequently, and you consume their content. Perhaps leave a nice comment to say, hey, I just appreciate you. You know, I think thinking it is great, but putting it out there is even better. Someone recently released some meme of sorts, and it was basically like, hey, I'm going to sit and take in all of your stuff, but I'm not going to interact with. I think interact with. I think acknowledge that, hey, I'm here and I appreciate what you're doing. Maybe that would help. Reality is, being a content creator is a little bit lonely. Not woe is me. This is just the facts. I realized this the other day whenever I was doing the podcast with my friend Chris, which I will put it right here and you can watch that. That's a great podcast. Well, you can listen as well. Who would have ever thought that you watch a podcast? Times are constantly changing. Content creator, that needs to be on all of the occupations, on all of the applications, on all of the 9-year-old evaluations, Emancipation Proclamation. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you. Being a content creator is one of the most fulfilling things that I have been able to do because I get to meet you where you are. I do have a podcast. I do have my music. I do have these videos. And maybe you meet me in all of those locations at one point or the other, but there's something so profound and something I'm so proud of is that I put content out that I believe in and all of those in hopes that maybe if they fall upon you and you stumble upon them, that they encourage and they inspire and they uplift and they create a sense of hope, maybe even help. I end this to say that hell yes, it's lonely to be a content creator, but hell yes, it is so fulfilling because I've been able to meet some incredible people, connect with some incredible people, get support from some incredible people. And I hope in my heart of hearts that you all feel appreciated in return. Theo said something recently. I talk like we're best bros. Theo Vaughn, he said, I wish I could gather everyone up who supports me and just say thank you. I would love to do that. It's impossible. It's just something I need you to hear me say every time you subscribe and you click the bell and you comment, and you follow, and you encourage, you haven't a clue what doing that does for the person who's putting that content out, who's working hours to get something that we believe in out to you for you to consume. For you to click a button, you might think it's a mundane task. No, it's not. I digress. It's actually something that's saying, hey, algorithm of this platform, I like Nathan Morris music. I'm going to subscribe and I'm going to give him a bell push and I'm going to give him a comment. It's just like, oh, we're going to keep pushing Nathan Morris content. Or when you stream my music on all the platforms, you're telling that platform, hey, people like this guy. It matters. It really does. So all that to say, you fill my bucket when you show up, when you consume the content. Is it lonely at times? Absolutely. But if it were easy, everybody would be doing it. My kids think it's pretty cool. My kids are like, my dad has blue check marks. My dad has so many thousand followers. My dad's this guy. I'm Nathan. I'm glad you're here. Let me know in the comments below. Do you have a job that you find to be a bit lonely? Or are you able to sit around and be around a ton of people? Which would you rather have? Would you rather be around a ton of people or be in a cubicle? Let me know in the comments below. If you like videos like this, be sure to subscribe, click the bell to be notified, and stick around because we're going to keep this rolling. And by the way, just so that you know, I have The Mortals. It's an exclusive members-only group. On Mondays, exclusive musical drops. On Wednesdays, exclusive video. And on Fridays, we have giveaways. And everywhere in between, we're able to text with each other. We're building a community because when all the music and dust settles, whenever there's not video coming out or music coming out, there is what? Community being built. Because without community, we have nothing. Taylor Swift has Swifties. Billie Eilish has eyelashes. Nathan Morris, third person, that's me, has The Mortals. That's you. We have this much time on this planet. What are you going to do with it? Choose good. Join The Mortals, right? Oh, and if you subscribe for a limited time, we're just going to send a random one of yous a limited vinyl autographed by me for free. That's all for this video. I'll see you at the next one. It's okay to be a little lonely because if you love yourself, you realize you're pretty good company. See you at the next one.